Julia Spencer is a real estate investor with over 25 years' experience who owns multiple investment properties. She's a single mother of two who moved to the U.S. in 1993 with only $20 in her pocket. She currently holds an MBA. Julia Spencer is neither a realtor nor an attorney, and the contents of this recording are only her opinions. Get her free guide to investing at juliamspencer.com. I'm your host, Dr. Steve G. Jones, multimillionaire and hypnotherapist. My website is stevegjones.com. So one of the most interesting things that I have heard of in real estate is tax lien foreclosures. I mean, I've heard stories of people paying a few $1,000s, and they end up owning a property that's worth close to $100,000. And I mean, I've just heard stories that seem to me amazing. You just basically go down to a place in your hometown, wherever you live, and you stand there with a bunch of other people and you bid on these properties and you get them for just pennies on the dollar, and they end up being worth a lot of money. So we're talking about many, many, many times return for your initial investment, pretty much in the matter of just the couple hours that it would take you to do that. Julia, is this true, and can you elaborate on tax lien foreclosures?
It's true. It's kind of hard to believe, and it honestly took me many, many years to believe it enough to actually try it. And I've been investing in tax lien foreclosures ever since. Tax lien foreclosures is very, very interesting and very exciting area to get into if you're investing in real estate, because it's relatively risk-free in terms of the investment that you're putting forth up front, and potentially could be having a very high return on the properties that you buy. And today I have with me an old friend of mine who is looking into flipping an investment property, and he, as I understand, has a lot of questions. And so we have arranged a session where he basically gets to ask me questions, and I will answer the questions as I record our phone conversation. Been waiting for him to call me, so any moment now we're going to get a phone call and we'll be recording the conversation. So I guess you have some questions that you wanted me to answer.
What this does is it starts at the bottom. It gets you doing investment and flipping and wholesaling and rentals and stuff like that, and then it gets you to step away from doing the day-to-day stuff, which is looking for properties and all that other stuff, and having other people, that works for your company to do those searches for you.
Yeah, exactly. That's really good advice.
Yeah, so that's my long-term goal, because I've been in IT for 20-something years. Basically, I climbed up to a certain point where I am now, and I'm 40-something years old, and you kind of look at not only your retirement, but you look at do you want to do this for the next 20 years? And I'm like, as I grew older, my salary requirements obviously increase, my cost of living increases, my quality of life goes down because I'm doing all of the work to maintain what I have, and I'm just looking at real estate as an option for me to get out of this and do something more, enjoy my life earlier than later, waiting until 60 or whatever, and then being able to have the income to give me the time to do what I want, which is travel or pick other endeavors that I actually want to do versus those that I have to do.
Absolutely, and you just summarized the whole entire reason why real estate is so awesome. You can do all those things, actually, and it's not hard to do. I kind of learned the hard way the hit my head against the wall way for 19 years. But now it's, it's pretty easy. I don't really work that much. Man, it's definitely, I've really not worked actually, I can tell you, November of 2013 is when I stopped working full time. And it's been pretty awesome. Yeah. And I don't have that many properties. I only have 11. So, I buy and sell them. So the number changes, but you don't need that many to be quite self-sufficiently doing nothing all day other than looking at more and helping other people to accomplish this too. So you did a really good summary of why I'm into this. And in exactly the same way, I want to take a month off, I can take a month off, or I can go for spring break with my kids. We just got back from Las Vegas and everybody had a great time. So yeah, you're absolutely right. If I had to go back to a full-time job working 40 hours a week, I think I would die.
Well, I've had my fill, so I'm trying to be where you are now. So I don't want to waste any more of the time now that I've seen that life can exist outside of the 40 actually I do more than 40 hours. I'm 60, 70 hours a week now. So
wow, that's crazy.
It's very unfulfilling because at any time the company that you work for, your employer can say, you know what, you're done.
Yeah.
We'll give you a package and you can go and find employment someplace else. And when you're younger, say in your 20s or whatever, okay, yeah, it's not a problem. I'll go find another job. But 20 years down the road, when you're 40, you're like, my whole livelihood has been built on, working in a corporate environment. You got to work back. You got to get back to that point. And sometimes it can take, 5-10 years to make up what you've lost. When you're older, you don't have that kind of time anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I couldn't have said it better.
And, one of the biggest things that made me wake up is, like I said, I do 60, 70 hours a week. And, through this program, basically sat down and said, look at what you're getting for your retirement. At that time, I didn't know what my retirement was. But they said, look at your retirement. And based on the retirement from the government, what they say you need to make in order to retire by age 65, which is the minimum age, you would have to, someone my age, you would need to have $3 million. So I said, $3 million by the time I'm 65. I said, I don't even have a quarter of that. How would I be able to live according to the standards that I have right now?
Yep.
So I'm always working against myself, and it's so odd how society pushes you or gets you to believe that if you retire, if you invest in a 401k, if you invest in an IRA, you will be okay.
Mm.
And that is the biggest lie I've seen, because people who put their money in the 401ks and the IRAs, yeah, they're good, but if you use that money to invest in something else, you'll get a higher return. And all that money that you're putting in those IRAs and 401ks benefit the bank because all they're doing is pulling your money and making money off of that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's not benefiting you. Yeah, it's money for long-term growth, but still, most people can't put money away so that they will be able to retire from it. They should use the money to invest or reinvest on something that's going to give them higher returns than, 10, 15%, if they're lucky, on the money that they have in their investment.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.